So how did you get into van life? Hi guys, my name is Gaia. I'm a traveling tattoo artist and van lifer, mainly based in California. And we're gonna start out just chatting about how did I get into van life in the first place? How did I become a traveling tattooer? Well, the van life thing actually started out in France, and tattooing started out in India. So I've been traveling since 2013, with some pauses here and there. But basically, I did a tattoo apprenticeship in 2014, and I graduated the end of May 2014. I studied with an artist in Mumbai, India. So I was already kind of traveling, and tattooing came along my path. I think that'll be a different video, so I'm really going to mainly focus on being a van lifer for right now. So anyway, I was already a traveling tattooer, and then I came to France later on. I left India kind of in 2016, 2017, and with an ex-partner, we got our first van. That didn't last super long, so then he kept his and then traveled some more, and in 2019 I got my own first van in France, which I built out with a friend of mine, and then I only got to stay in it for like 3 months, and then I left to go to Brazil for a few months to do a dieta with the Yawanawá tribe in the northwest of Brazil in the region of Acre. So I left my van in France, in, a stock place, like in a garage and protected, and I intended to come back in 4 or 5 months, and then 4 or 5 years passed because of COVID. And so I was in Brazil during COVID, and that's another video for another time. But because of COVID and because of the way that France was super locked down, I had some friends who were coming to California, and who, I had already been in California. I had been trimming weed in 2016 for a short stint in California. So I had some friends. And so I decided when they were going to close the borders with Brazil in May 2020 to come to California. And so I bought, with the last of my money, a tiny little Honda Odyssey that was nothing but headaches. And so I lived in that one for over a year, traveling, trimming, and just kind of like doing that thing. And if people are interested in some videos about that, let me know in the comments. Can explain more about that whole world. But yeah, so then with the money working eventually, because the Honda Odyssey just had so many issues with transmission that I replaced and fucked up, and then I got a all-wheel drive Astro van that I converted. And then after that, I found that was too small for me and my doggy, and so then I took all the money that I had made trimming marijuana, and I had searched up and down from Seattle to San Diego looking for a T1N Sprinter van, because those, have a really good reputation, and so I just really wanted that one. And it was mainly because I wanted a safe, comfortable home and enough space for me and my dog. I didn't have consistent income. I couldn't really pay rent anywhere, and I wanted to go the biggest I could go, because I was really tired of living in a small freaking space. So I counted out $20,000 in 20s, straight up. I found this amazing van, 2006 Sprinter, from a woman who actually was in France and had left her van here during COVID. Pretty funny. And it was partially built out, not really, really built out. And I started living in that. And I had to add a lot of furniture. I had to add a diesel heater. I had to add house batteries. I had to add solar. I had so many things to do to make it livable. So I've been glamping in this thing for years. And then I recently just had it renovated. I took basically all my savings and renovated it so that I have a really, really nice comfortable home. So I'm really, really stoked about it. And I think I'll do another van tour as a different video, but basically how I got into van life was I was already a traveler and I was tired of backpacking. I had backpacked for years with like really, really, really heavy packs on my back, like all my tattoo equipment. I also traveled in a little car in Europe that a friend had actually just given me. So I traveled in that for a while, just kind of like rolling up to places and putting out a tent. I was staying in squats as well, traveling, and then I really wanted comfort. And before van life was really, really popular in the States, there was always like hippies and school buses and stuff that I had seen growing up. But like the thing that really, really made it obvious to me that van lifing was like a really cool option was being in France, because the French hippies got that shit down from like a long time ago. So in 2015, I had gone and I went to rainbow gatherings in Europe, and I saw so many people with amazing vans and box trucks that they had built out themselves. And I was like super impressed, and I was like, wow, it's like literally everything you need in a house. So just several months ago, like 6 months ago, I decided to re-renovate my Sprinter. I had been living in a house, and I decided to leave that house after a year and a half and to come back into the Sprinter because rent is really high. So a lot of my coming to van life was just necessity, like needing a safe, dry bed with shelter, needing a vehicle to be able to get around to access work opportunities, and just feeling like often very lost in this world, and feeling like, well, at least if I have a tiny little cocoon, like I know that I'm okay and I'm safe. But it wasn't really a huge stretch for me in general because I've always been a traveler, and I consider myself like a cosmic gypsy. And I have like on all sides of my family, generations have been moving from different country to different country. So it's not really a huge stretch from like my deeper being, whereas there might be people whose families are a little bit more grounded, or they themselves have had more of a grounded experience in life. And so then, now with the internet and with the trends, like they think like, oh, van life, and I see a lot of posts because I'm part of some like van life groups on Facebook where people are like, how do I know if I'm gonna like it, and should I try it, and all these things. And it's like, you kind of have to know if you're a traveler and if you're into that, like that's my best advice is, do you want to deal with all the things you're going to have to deal with in order to make that life livable? Like if you don't have a good van set up, you're not going to be comfortable. If you don't have a kitchen set up, you're not going to be able to make food. If you don't have a bathroom set up, you're not going to be able to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night easily. If you're not willing to poop in a bag, maybe it's not a good idea. If you're not willing to empty your pee jar, if you aren't willing to drive around at 1 a.m. for 20 minutes to try to find a safe, comfortable parking spot, if you're not willing to sleep where you're not level, if you're not willing to have cars drive by your bed. Like this morning, I was actually woken up by a guy like screaming on his phone, but he was just like right next to my van, and he was like really angry on his phone. And I was like woken up, and he's like right next to my head. I was like, what the fuck is going on? And I like, took the cover off my window, and I was like banging on the window so he could realize someone's in the van. I was like, yeah, I'm also like, just on the street. So, yeah, that's my little talk about how I got into van life, and I'm sure we'll delve more into it. But yeah, I arrived to van life very much as a natural progression of being a traveler, as well as necessity and needing to have a safe place to be. And I continue to do it because I enjoy traveling, and because I like to be self-contained, and because I gathered up the resources to continue to invest in this lifestyle so that I could be comfortable. Thanks for watching.